What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back to recap the New York Jets versus the Carolina Panthers preseason game. It was a relatively quiet offensive day for both of these teams. It did not see very many starters or regulars, so naturally it was kind of an ugly and sloppy football game. The Carolina Panthers start out with the ball and a couple penalties off the gate, that just drive stalls out. They punt it away. Andrew Peasley starts for the New York Jets. There is no Tyrod Taylor in this game. Very little Braylon Allen as well. Lofi did start at right tackle. He did get hit with a holding penalty. Debatable call for some. I thought it was a holding call. I agreed with the call, but on Twitter, we got mixed reviews on that one. Irv Charles had a false start on that possession. Jets would end up going for it on 4th and 2, but a really bad Peasley throw. Unfortunately, neither quarterback really looked that great after what I thought was a really strong performance in their first game. Next possession, Chaz Surratt gets hit with a penalty. JBC beat for a first down. He would leave the game with injury and was doubtful to return. Did not return, and then the Panthers would kick a field goal. Next Jets possession, as I mentioned, Olufashinu. This is where the penalty comes in. Andrew Peasley tucked it away and ran for a few yards. Didn't amount to much, though, as the Jets would punt the ball away to the Carolina Panthers, settling for no points on that possession. You'd have a Takk McKinley tackle for a loss, who really had, I thought, a strong game, and he has looked good through training camp and through the first couple of preseason games. We also, good news, got a Will McDonald sack. He showed off the spin move. To me, that was by far the highlight of the game, and the biggest takeaway for the New York Jets here is the Will McDonald spin move that resulted in a sack. Things you just absolutely love to see. Next possession is where Jarek Bernard-Converse had the groin injury. Jets would force a punt on the next possession. Malachi Corley picks up a 4th down on a nice catch. Ball was behind him a little bit. Greg the Leg kicks a field goal and settles it for 3-3 going into the half. Again, to me, things that stood out in the first half, you had the Will McDonald sack. I thought Quantez Stiggers was all around the ball, and Takk McKinley was a strong performer as well. Second half, pretty rough, not the greatest. We'll go through a couple of notes and then just end with some stats and guys who stood out. Jets add a field goal. Good special teams return on this one. Panthers add a field goal to tie it up, so exchanging field goals, 6-6. Martinez had a absolutely brutal field goal, a brutal interception on the next Jets possession. Just missed his mark by a long shot, ends up getting picked off. Run the other way. Panthers drive stalls. I don't know why that was so hard. Panthers drive stalls. Jets kick a field goal. They go up 9-6. Austin Seibert, by the way, if there is a team that is in need of a kicker, Jets obviously have Greg the Leg, but this is someone who's looked good through 2 preseason games, been automatic. Next possession for the Jets, you had a Codrington nice punt return that's off the heels of a good kick return to open off the second half of the game. I thought he was explosive on special teams. He's going to have a hard time making the roster, but maybe he sticks on the practice squad for some special teams value. Guess what? Jets add another field goal. It's the field goal show, so 12-6 is your score. Jets would add another field goal before it's all said and done. On that drive, little frustrating for me. Zach Kuntz is a name that I get asked about a lot. Anytime I go to training camp, I feel like I get, how's Zach Kuntz? And hasn't really stood out at training camp. And second week in a row where the hands just did not look very good. I think he has a uphill battle to make this roster, putting it lightly. Maybe he sticks around on the practice squad. Yes, he's tall. Yes, great RAS score, the whole thing. But unfortunately, hasn't really translated all that well this year in particular. So I would be really surprised if he is on this Jets roster. And honestly, maybe even not on the practice squad at this point. As time expires, the Panthers would punch in a touchdown. Dylan Johnson punches it in. 18 carries for 83 yards, by the way, for him. He stood out, 4.6 yards per attempt. So 15-12 is your final. Robert Saleh gets his 9th preseason win. Impressive, sure. We'll say that it's impressive, I suppose, as the Jets continue to win. Looking at the box score numbers, as I mentioned, the quarterback play was really not that good. Martinez, 7 of 17, just 67 yards passing. no touchdowns, and an interception. Peasley, 7 of 11, 33 yards, just 3 yards per attempt, no touchdowns, no picks. Neither running backs didn't really stand out a ton. Isaiah Davis started this game, had 4 carries for 14 yards. Braylon Allen, 8 for 27. Izzy Abanikanda, I guess, stood out the most, 6 carries, 29 yards, 4.8 yards per attempt. But again, just looking at guys who stood out on the offensive side of the ball, not a whole lot. It was just not a great day for the offense in general, but Brandon Smith, wide receiver, has a really good connection with Martinez, is something of note. Malachi Corley had the nice catch on 4th down. That's a plus. On the defensive side, to me, defense stood out more than anything. I think Braden McGregor had a really good game, undrafted free agent. Leonard Taylor had a couple nice plays again. And then, Quantez Stiggers in the first half. And, of course, the Will McDonald sack, which came in the first half. All things of note. But other than that, relatively quiet second preseason game. Jets' next game is a week from today against the New York Giants. Who knows? Aaron Rodgers said maybe we'll play. So we'll see if that happens. Guys, that'll do it for me. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.